So so right now, when we're looking at probably the AI companies as like the big hype that everyone's looking at, and you're separating those winners and losers, or even just looking at where the market is currently evaluating these companies, even some big ones that have already proven to be winners, like Nvidia. Like, what's your overall assessment of this sector right now for the AI participants?
It kind of depends, a lot of people are saying it's overhyped. I'm not sure I agree with that. It might just be short-term overvalued. And again, if you're looking to jump in and out in a couple of months, maybe this isn't the best entry point. But on the other hand, it's really hard to displace NVIDIA at this point. I mean, they are so embedded with those cloud data centers that are just embracing AI, and it's almost damn near impossible for another chip maker to keep up with the performance per power efficiency of the GPUs that it has. I mean, that took 20 years to perfect. They incrementally make it even better each and every year. A lot of people are trying and failing. And then you've got the software components on top of that, and you got the relationships with customers on top of that. Um, I don't think, I wouldn't say that NVIDIA is a bad investment if you're thinking several years out. I think that even a $1 trillion market cap, this is a company that's going to continue to just build on its leads and its competitive advantages that it has, and be even stronger in the future than it is. Now, on the other hand, there's competition. There are going to be other winners out of things like this, but AI as a whole is definitely still early innings. I don't think any growth style investor you talk to is going to think that this is just a flash in the pan that goes away in a couple of years.
Yeah, no, I could definitely agree with all that. I am, however, less certain on some of the more service-based AI companies like C3 AI. What is your view of these more like service-based companies right now?
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I mean, C3.ai is going after it for the enterprise, right? They've got a CEO and founder of the company that has a long tenure in software, multi-decades. He's been around and he's seen a lot of things. And he is really, let me get back to that in a minute. Let me digress for a moment and kind of tell the story of AI, is that AI isn't just something that happened all of a sudden. ChatGPT made it super popular because they unleashed, or I'm sorry, OpenAI released ChatGPT, and then you had 100 million users adopt it in just a matter of a couple of days. And so now everybody's talking about AI. Genie's out of the bottle. Pandora's box has been released. But before that, machine learning has got roots back to Geoff Hinton and University of Toronto and kind of ImageNet and all of these other things, where it was basically just statistically understanding lots and lots of data points, right? So if you're looking at a picture, after a while, you can start seeing a gradient between a very light shade and a dark shade. And all of a sudden you said, okay, that's something that's got a sky background. And then after a while, you can start to, this color gradients and other, statistical means, you can start saying, okay, that is a beak. I'm 99% possible that's a beak. And then after that, you kind of start piecing together beaks and you say, okay, I'm 99% positive that this is a bird. And then so AI in its earliest chapters of this was recognizing images much more accurately and much more quickly than anybody else could do. And then, of course, in the recent years, we've now evolved from image data and image gradients to words, where we could recognize letters and then text words and then combinations of those words. And now we have large language models that can understand what we're saying so that it can immediately respond. It's the same idea. We're not recognizing birds anymore. We're recognizing questions that are being asked to a prompt like GPT did. And so the next evolution of AI is going to be video. It's going to be contextual data of whatever you want to train it to do. Back to the C3.ai of the world, where Tom Siebel kind of created companies before and has been around for 3 or 4 decades doing this. He understands there are biases that AI still is prone to. And that can be very problematic if you don't think through things very responsibly. And so he's cautioning the world, if you've seen a lot of the things that he's saying, to, yeah, the genie's out of the bottle now, but we still got to be smart about how we're doing this. Otherwise, we're just getting really, really excited about inaccurate or biased answers that are being trained based on how we train these AI algorithms. And so to your question about is C3.ai a good company or not, it is a more conservative company than OpenAI is. They're going after Shell, who wants to fine-tune the information provided by its subject matter experts of the oil field to make more efficient projects and other things that it's going to have more control over. But on the other hand, I don't know if that's good or bad or right or wrong or profitable or unprofitable. There's just different approaches to how we're going to go after AI in the next 5, 10 years.
Yeah. That's a really fair assessment. It's really, really complicated. Even just trying to figure out these biases, or even, when you ask the experts, I've listened to a lot of the AI experts, and even for the understanding of how the in-between phases between inserting a prompt and then how it's actually generated, it's like bouncing around through all these parameters, and they can't even explain to you how it works. So yeah, it's extremely complex. And I think you kind of summarized the problem with trying to come up with an evaluation of someone like C3 AI pretty well. That's some of the difficulties, but I really appreciate your insight there.